All right. I am joined today with Carley Stewardson and Laird De Groot, two of three owners at Birch Lane Veterinary Clinic, Forest Veterinary Clinic, and Northern Oak Animal Hospital. Thank you very much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Look, the pleasure is definitely all mine. Trust me when I tell you that. We wanted to have a chat today about the experience of the IVMS workshop, what led you towards this workshop and what your experience was going through it and to where you are today. Correct my memory, but we last finished at the end of April, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's right.
Sure.
Fantastic. And we're at the end of September. So tell me about your journey from when you started to where you are today and what prompted you from sorting out the workshop to begin with. This is a question for both. You can,
Okay.
yeah, who wants to take it?
So we found out about the opportunity for the workshop from Dr. Jamie McGill-Worsley, who's one of the partners here. She had been looking into different systems or different management solutions as a way to try and improve our efficiency and better position us for the growth that we're experiencing. We kind of outgrew what we were able to accomplish. We were doing all of the tasks ourselves as an ownership group. And we just needed something transformational to help us motivate our team members in optimal business management. There was a lot that we were lacking with the rate at which we were growing. So we did some research. She had looked around at a few different options and avenues and had made the decision to proceed with IVMS. The decision point on that was multiple different things. Jamie had known or met Reese in the past and felt that he was a good communicator and was quite engaging, encouraged us to consider working with him. And when we were looking at what he had to offer, we felt that it met the needs and suited what we were looking to accomplish.
Fantastic. Now, what's the size of your team?
We are at about 40 employees right now.
And how many DVMs is that?
7. Yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. Fantastic. So tell me what specific challenges you guys were facing before you attended the workshop.
We had struggles with just overall organization. We were growing very rapidly and with lots of team members. So organizing roles, responsibilities, we're all kind of trying to tackle all of the challenges and try and find all of the solutions. We were getting spread pretty thin and ultimately not being able to do what we're actually good at, which is be doctors in the hospital. Accountability was a big problem as well. And just overall completion of tasks, just not having kind of everyone in place where they need to be. That's what I found was one of the bigger challenges. I don't know about you, Rach, but.
Yes, that's a very good summary. I think we also needed some help with the financial component of it, budgeting, understanding what we could afford for new hires. The way the industry is going, we need to have to know like what is a reasonable offer and be able to have some hard numbers to be able to calculate what we can offer to someone without kind of going past what is affordable for the hospital. And like she said, we needed help with the efficiency of our meetings, the follow through after the meetings, and just a lack of efficiency because we were all trying to do everything rather than delegating or having people on different accountabilities or different roles.
Okay, great, fantastic. Did you look at other systems before coming to IVMS?
We did. A couple of different ones. Am I allowed to drop any names or anything, or is that meant to not happen?
No, you can just, that's okay. We don't have to name them. We can just say why, tell me why you didn't go with them. How's that?
We can do that. So yes, we did look at a couple of other options instead of IVMS. As far as why we selected this, there was a multitude of reasons. One of them was we felt the price point was very reasonable for the content and what we received with the actual program, and just the different template strategies, what came with the course to allow us to run with it after and actually implement it, felt like it was top notch compared to other things we had looked into.
And also the connection that we felt like we had with you, Reese, that made a huge like that was a huge decision factor as well. The EOS system did draw us towards like what it provided, but having you kind of tailor this specifically for vet med was a bit of a game changer for us, because it's an industry unlike any other out there, right? It really does have to be tailored for veterinary medicine. So
Absolutely.
we did that strongly.
The other systems out there weren't necessarily tailor-made to veterinary medicine. They were for business, and they looked at multiple different businesses, but it is such a unique and individual industry. Having someone with that specific insight for us was invaluable.
Great answers, guys. Great answers. What were your expectations before and after? So were they met? Did you have any specific expectations before you went in there? Did you even have the expectations? Did you know what to expect?
I think I was the most skeptical, can't even speak, out of all of us probably with this, because I had started Force Vet Clinic and ran it myself for a number of years, and I just thought that we could probably just make it work. So I was instructed very kindly by Jamie to go in with an open mind, which I did, and I chose to not have any expectations going in, and that's how I approached it.
Okay.
I had looked at some of the other solution systems that were out there and available, just to give myself an idea of what was available, kind of what to expect. I really didn't know what to expect, to be honest, but I just had an idea of what we were going to be doing or what it could offer based on that and what Jamie had told me. I will say that my expectations were met and exceeded, in that not only was there that sit down, there's that one-on-one sort of aspect that for some of the things, because it was new to us or new to me, I needed that, like reading it from a book or having someone just kind of dictate it out wouldn't have been as good as the hands-on approach. I will say it was definitely exceeded. And as far as expectations, yeah, I didn't even really know what to expect. Kind of like Carley, I was just going based on the fact that Jamie said this is good and we should do this. So.
And what about you, Carley? Did you, looking back on it now, did it provide you with the guidance that you needed?
Yes, it did. I can't say it exceeded my expectations, because I went in with not knowing what to expect, but yeah, it definitely exceeded anything that I would have gone into it with. Yes, I agree with Rachel.
How has the impact since completing it?
I think we're still, and we were discussing this before, Reese, we're still working on things. Like, we're still very new. I feel like it's going to take us a lot more time to get things really functioning like a well-oiled machine. We have more accountability now. So even being able to set up our accountability chart and have it on paper and kind of see where we all fit, our roles and responsibilities. Again, we're still tweaking those, because there is some overlap in some of the areas, for instance, like medical director and HR versus financials and HR. Like, there's a lot of overlap. So we are still trying to like define where exactly everyone sits and who deals with that overlap, but we're able to delegate a lot of our tasks that we were all trying to do. In essence, it's opened up some more time for us, as far as not always trying to manage everything and being able to actually be doctors, I think.
That's great.
Yeah.
The same, Rach?
It's definitely improved things for sure with the business operations. It's allowed us to get a lot more done, in that our meetings are far more efficient. We can just pound through multiple issues in a week, or multiple things on our to-do list each week, because we have a template to follow, we have structure, and then we now have follow through and who we're going to delegate it out through the accountability. Basically, it's given us the templates and tools to achieve the different goals that we were looking to achieve. We just weren't quite sure how to best do that, and now we are.
Great. Awesome. What specific improvements have you noticed in the team management and efficiency?
We've also seen one thing that wasn't mentioned, though, definitely more structure, but also evaluating further the team fit exercise, for instance, and placing people in positions where they will excel not only in the business, but also excel personally, being able to identify, do these people fit with your team? Where are their strengths? Where are their weaknesses? That's really helped, because we never really sat down and did that with people that we actually work with every single day. So that was helpful.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Very helpful. I think the other thing too, as well, is specific improvements in the team members would be our development of the core values. There are now clear expectations as what we want and what we need to see from them. And I've actually seen team members upholding each other and holding each other accountable. I've heard someone say, hey, core value number 2 to another person. I was like, wow, I was not expecting them to do that to each other. I was going to have to be the one to say, hey, core value number 1, but no, to see them doing it together and then have someone else be like, oh, you're right. Yeah, I did that. That was pretty great to see.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Mhm.
Can you share an example of a challenge you faced before the workshop and how the tools provided have helped you overcome it?
Got that one, Rach?
Sure. To go along with just our very last example of the specific improvements in the team members, the team management, basically it allows you to address a concern quickly and in the moment, and it gets the point across. For example, you enter a room and you hear negative or unnecessary gossip. You can simply ask them if it aligns with our core value number 1, which is no drama. And that has been invaluable for sure. It's made everything so much easier and opens up the conversation.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you think that my next question, follow-on question to that, is a good segue? Have you noticed any changes in team engagement and morale since implementing the workshop principles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that the core values has been an absolute game changer for us. And I do think that the team has it's given them something to grasp onto with
Mhm.
how, like, where they work and the environment in which they work. It just gives them something, and we made them kind of nice and easy to remember and kind of cute, right? And we use that with hiring, we use that with firing, and we use that with our day-to-day now. And everybody is so much more on board with that. It's really nice to see, like, the staff members writing our staff announcement page, like, hey, shout out to this person for upholding Be the Willow Tree with this example. Hey, da da da. It's just really neat to, like, see them
Mhm.
like grasp onto that daily.
That's cool. That's awesome. How has the workshop helped you in setting and achieving your business goals?
I want to say things are more.
Let me just, or has it helped you with the vision?
I think it's been helpful in that it's made things more measurable, like the SMART goals, for example, to know what your business goals are and what you need to achieve. You have to know what they are, like being specific and how are you going to measure them. There's a lot that goes into that we weren't really fully delving into. We had goals, but I think they were a little too foggy, and having that, specific and measuring them after and following up and having a timeline on them was extremely helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think just being able to get things down on paper and really think about why are we here and why are we doing what we're doing every single day was really nice, because I feel like everyone just gets in the flow of the grind, right? 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are day to day, but you, at the end of the day, like, what is your vision for what you're working so hard for? Having that written down again has really just changed kind of our direction and how we run the business. Essentially, it's really helped.
Right. Now, I know that you guys mentioned about, the culture. I think you said, has it improved since taking the workshop?
I would say yes. I think we had a pretty good culture before, but it's done nothing other than elevate it that much further. We're pretty picky on culture, but it gives people the clear expectation. They know that we hire for culture, we fire for culture, and to be able to sit down at a first meeting with someone and say, hey, let's talk about our core values before you decide to accept the position. That's been amazing.
Did you have core values before?
No, we did not.
Let me ask the question first. Have you worked anywhere else that has had core values written on the wall?
No, I have not. I've worked at quite a number of places, and the answer to that is no.
Okay. I was going to ask you if they did they actually follow it themselves?
Yeah.
But they didn't have it.
Didn't have it. Can't say.
You mentioned again some valuable takeaways from the workshop. Could you give me 3 that was like the absolute game changer for you and the practices?
I would go with the accountability chart. So accountability chart, development of our own personalized core values, and The third
How to
one
structure our L10 meetings too.
would be the
Communication
L10
across the board.
Absolutely. The L10s, the SMART goals, the core values. There's quite a few of them actually, but the L10s were life-changing for sure.
Oh, awesome. Talk to me about any financial impacts. Have you seen any benefits, improvements in profitability since taking the workshop?
Oh yes, Jamie upholds Carly and I firmly to our budgets.
So
That's
frustrating,
good.
It is. It's very frustrating.
especially for people like Rachel and I.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I love that.
Definitely have far better budgeting than we once did before the workshop.
I think being able to, it's hard to say at this stage because again, we're still quite new, but having that scorecard that we review every single week kind of helps us to see our trends, right? Like which weeks are we most profitable? Which weeks are we not profitable and why? Like we can delve into why are there more no shows? Did these people not get reminder calls? Like it's been profitable in the way that we're having a better look at where the money is coming in and where the money is coming out, and to focus on where we need improvement week to week.
Okay, good. So in real time, you can basically tell yourselves this is a concern here and this is a concern there and this is what's working well here and what's not.
Absolutely.
Here's a question. Are you able to quantify any of these cost savings?
I think that's a Jamie question.
We'll get to her next week.
Probably better let her
Actually,
do that.
it is-
Carly and I are we're the spenders of the group. She's the budgeter. She's
Okay.
she's our numbers lady.
Okay, good. Have you received any customer feedback, any client feedback since the workshop? It could be notes, but it could be an internal thing, but has there been any feedback?
I had a client come on this morning that a few weeks ago she was dropping a pet off for her friend and she couldn't help but notice the difference in our bedside manner or how we speak to our clients or just the vibe that our whole team has. And she transferred hospitals simply because of that. So that was nice to see. Yeah.
That's a
We've had
tangible.
clients compliment like reviews online about the team culture and how they do notice. Like I think one review was a client saying it was so nice to hear the employees laughing in the back together, like from the front. Like it must be a really nice place to work. So they are noticing, and I do think it's overall very, very positive. We've had very good reviews in general, but just being able to kind of elevate that client experience just simply by having a happy team and, you know, holding a good quality level of medicine is pretty apparent, I think, to the clients.
That's great. That's great to hear. That's something that you always want to hear.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's really good to hear, guys. I really love that. I love that. Love it. We spoke about someone spoke about personal growth with their team members. I want to touch on that a little bit more with you guys. How has the workshop contributed to your personal growth and as a business owner?
For me, it helped me realize where my strengths are and where my weaknesses are and where I need to improve or where I need to focus. Yeah, for instance, like I have realized that HR is not my expertise. And so I try and stay away from that very far. And I'm the visionary of the practice. So it gives me the ability to just focus on what I'm good at and what I enjoy, overall making it more of an enjoyable work-life balance and just work environment in general.
Personal growth, I'd say it's that self-awareness that comes with, you know, teaching people about core values and setting expectations. It kind of upholds you to them as well, right? So next time you're feeling negative or grumpy, you're like, actually, core value number one, and you uphold that as well. It did definitely help to point out, like Carly said, our strengths and our personal weaknesses, where we are very good at. And so we kind of tackle that, where we are maybe a little weaker and we need to either work on or allow someone else to do that. I would have to say as well, just the ability to learn, to have the opportunity to learn best business practices and just ways to better manage the business has helped me certainly to grow as an owner as well.
Okay. Do you feel that someone said the accountability chart that you guys implemented was a good empowerment for your team?
Yes, I would say so. Yeah. Also because for a small example is implementing lead RBTs. That's not something that we had in the clinic, right? So we've been able to empower some of our stronger RVTs that, did have a passion to maybe lead others or expand their knowledge and expertise in that. So we've implemented that as well as lead DVMs. Now, currently, we don't have a big enough team to have that, but in future, that's something that we can offer for associate DVMs as well. So I think that it's created a lot of empowerment across the board, not only in ownership.
Great, fantastic. What was the most surprising thing that's come out of the workshop? What was the most surprising thing that you have either learned, seen, implemented? Anything that was like, wow, I didn't think that could be a thing. It could be something that you learned about yourself. It can be something that we've implemented and it's worked fantastically well.
I was surprised how well the team members took to the core values. I was surprised by how well the accountability chart improved efficiency. We thought we were very efficient and we got a lot done, but we're getting a lot more done now that we are implementing it. I guess the results were better than I had expected.
I think also with the accountability chart, going more into the roles and how I guess the accountability chart splits up, like actually having a definition for the certain roles, for instance, like your visionary and all of those. I would always get frustrated because I was trying to do, just personally, I was trying to do all of the things, even the things that I was weak at. Whereas I didn't even know that there was such thing as a visionary of a business. And it kind of all made sense when I was stuck into that role. I was like, oh, I do have a home. I do have a place where like I belong. So it's just really nice to see that like that is a thing in structuring business management, is there is a place for everybody, just solely how you function as a human being. So I thought that was surprising. And yeah, I agree with the core values. Like I thought that would be really difficult to implement across the team. And it was strangely very easy.
It was. Absolutely.
Awesome. That's great. Pretend that I am another owner that is looking for advice, and I ask you the question, would you recommend this workshop to me, and why not?
I'll go.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's okay. Yes, I would recommend it 110%. I think that we've only seen positive things come from this. Again, we're still working through it. It's still very new. But I think if we were to repeat this interview in a year, things would be even better than where we were. I think everyone thinks, and I was the stubborn one. I thought that we were running things just fine. And, I didn't want to make the investment and I didn't want to take the time and blah, blah, blah. Yes, you might be running your business well, but you can always run it better. So if you want to take the next step and progress and actually truly be better, then this is something that's going to get you there.
Awesome. Thank you.
I absolutely would as well. 100% recommend. Like Carley said, we feel that this has really helped us with optimal business management. There's templates provided, there's strategies provided, and these have helped us to transform the entire business to happier team, self-managing, more satisfied clients as a result. And it's definitely easy to apply. That was my big concern. You go to a conference and you learn all these great things and you come back excited, but then does what you learn actually get applied? And this we certainly did. The learning was easy and engaging. And I will say that I can recommend this to any business that needs to see some practical and tangible results.
Great. Wonderful. Thanks, guys.